Oh, hi. Come on in. Welcome to my office. I'm Lee Olson, your next United States Senator from the late great state of California. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm here to tell you about an exciting and rewarding California initiative constitutional amendment. And the fact that it's exciting and rewarding is evidenced by the celebration of the pleased seniors that pictured above and to the right. So right now they're celebrating action they've taken to get the measure on the ballot. But they'll be repeating the celebration when the measure passes. So before we get going, let me ask, how do you like my office? I love it. I could just lay back, take in the relaxing sights and sounds all day long. In fact, I'd love to do that, but I can't. I have to work, just like you, to pay the bills, even though I've reached the point where I'm getting Social Security and without penalty as a consequence of my gainful employment. You might suggest that I just sell my assets that are encumbered and buy a place free and clear somewhere with a lower cost of living, and then I'll be able to kick back and relax. Well, actually, that won't work. You see, the government will still want to charge me for owning a place free and clear. And they'll still want to charge me for owning any personal property. I'll still need to work to get the money to pay what they want to charge me. I have no say in the matter at all. It's just as though there's an unwritten law that it's a crime to be alive, so they want to penalize me for being alive. So I've thought about this at length, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm just a slave for the state. I've been a slave all my life, even though I didn't recognize it. And I will be a slave for the rest of my life. There's no end in sight. And get this, when I die, the government wants to take most of what I thought I owned before it decides what it will let my heirs keep. It's as though the government believes it owns me and my assets. The sorry state of affairs is that the government does own us and all that we have. We only get to keep what the government lets us keep. And what we can do with what we own is only whatever the government says we can do with it. So this is pure slavery. You should just take a reference to the Merriam-Webster definition of a slave. There's two definitions in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. One definition is that of a slave is one that is completely subservient to a dominating influence, like a government maybe. That's us. The second one is one that a person held in servitude as the chattel or property of another. Aren't we in servitude? We're property of another, which happens to be the government. We're slaves. Bottom line is that all of us are slaves living on the government plantation. We are the property of the government. So I'm, for one, am sick and tired of being a slave. I want my freedom. So as I thought about this, I began asking myself, if in America, supposedly the land of the free, doesn't it seem reasonable that after some period of servitude, a slave should be freed? It seems like a reasonable proposition to me. So I began thinking about what would constitute a reasonable period of servitude. Now, the conventional retirement age is 65, and that was my first thought. But then, in consideration of the fact that in some cases, a retirement age of 55 has been established, I decided that 55 years of age would be a reasonable age to be freed from slavery on the government plantation. Because after all, by that time, most of us has already put in 30 years of hard labor on the plantation. Isn't that long enough? Especially when you consider that government managers of the plantation can retire at 50 years of age. So once I determined that 55 years of age was a reasonable age to be set free from the government plantation, I decided to do something about it, including preventing the government from stealing our assets when we pass on. My chosen mechanism to do something about it is an initiative constitutional amendment, the California Freedom from Slavery Act. The act says in part, every resident of the state of California shall be exempt from all forms of state of California income and property taxes, beginning the year following the 55th anniversary of the birth of the resident, and continuing every year of residency thereafter until and including the day of the resident's death, nor shall any form of estate tax be levied on the resident's estate. That's it. Very simple. So click on the Part 2 video for the continuation of facts pertaining to this initiative constitutional amendment. I'll see you there.